Hi, I'm Liz,
And I'm Jess.
and this is Aish That's Dark.
Let's get into it.
Hello, one and all, and welcome back to Aish That's Dark. If you couldn't tell, Jess and I are down for the count. We are both so sick.
We both caught it from the same person in our
We both
office.
caught it from the same person, and I was unfortunately the carrier. So I have an ear infection and RSV,
Girl,
which in adults is basically just like a flu, which is
Yeah.
not that bad.
I have an ear infection and tonsillitis.
Yeah, so
So
yeah, if we sound very low energy, we do apologize.
we will try and bring the energy still.
Yeah, because, we are giving, so we will continue with Daisy DeMalca next week,
Yes.
but we decided to just give it like a little bit of a nice little palate cleanser, if you will.
And we also decided to give Liz a turn to talk because
Yeah,
we
because
need her to talk more.
yeah, Liz has not been talking a lot. And
More Liz.
since my voice will recover sooner than Jess's, I think. So this is all great. All are well. So if you do hear the occasional, if you do hear the occasional like throat clearing or the sniffle, we do apologize. We'll try and edit that out. But yeah, it has been a tough week for all of us.
It's been a rough week.
It's been a really rough week for you, Jess. I don't know if you want me to just give the listeners.
You
give
can
the
if you want to.
listeners-
I don't mind.
Fortunately, Jess had to say goodbye to one of her furry, fluffy little kittens, little Merlin. And it breaks my heart. It broke everyone's heart. And it's just sad. And you know what? Merlin, today's episode is dedicated to you.
So here is some spookiness for him.
Yes, he's getting some spookiness. So today, there's no serial killers. There is no cults. I want to take you about 20 minutes down the R21.
Okay, but we've never dealt with cults in the first place.
We haven't.
But I do really want to. I think there are quite a few
They should be.
satanic ones in South Africa,
Yeah.
which are very
Especially
well
satanic.
documented.
Yeah,
that I
exactly.
really want to.
Why the satanic ones?
I think they get focused on because South Africa is a very Christian country.
Maybe.
So I think that when it is something like that, then it's very much like people focusing on it because it's like, oh my gosh.
It's like, oh no, satanic panic.
Yeah.
It's South Africa, so it's just
Oh my gosh, did you
panic.
see that video? I don't remember where it was, but there was this pastor. He was trying to like help people who were supposedly demon possessed, and he was spraying doom in their faces.
Oh, I remember that story.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
It was the dumbest thing.
It is.
That was ridiculous. There's a couple of priests who are like, no, you need to sleep with me in order to get rid of your demons, or you need to
Marry me,
or you need to drink a very questionable liquid in order to get sick. I'm not. Yeah, we're not going to go into it, but yeah, cults. We will
deal with them.
Oh, I can't wait
Anyway,
for that episode.
You said we're doing a bit of a palate cleanser today. Tell me.
It's a little bit of a palate cleanser. So down the R21, just a few minutes down the R21, we are going to go to a 9-story building standing behind a fence in Van Riebeeck Park, Kempton Park.
So close. Why are we dealing with such close to home cases?
I don't know.
Recently?
But also this one, luckily, it's not tragic and like,
It's just interesting.
it's interesting. Like, obviously there is, I will give a little trigger warning just in a little bit, but it's not that rough in the grand scheme of things. Gosh,
I'll stop interrupting you though.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let's get through this. But yeah, so this building has stood there, empty, for nearly 30 years. It is the most famous haunted building in South Africa. I think a lot of people already know where we're going without even reading the title. And ghost hunters call it the Crown Jewel, and locals call it the Ghost Hospital.
That's so cool.
And here's the thing that makes the story properly ours. The ghosts might be the least disturbing part of everything about this place. So a little content note before we start. This episode does touch on the death of babies at the hands of a man who should have never even been near them in the first place.
Get rid of them.
We will not go into graphic detail and we will not linger on that. But that is also a very important part of the history's, the building's
Oh.
history. So it has to be told. And if today is not that day for you, then it's not that day. You can also just skip through it. It's a very short part of today's episode.
I'm sure you also just give us a bit of a heads up just before you speak about it. So if people do want to continue listening, they can just skip that.
They can absolutely do that. So let me set the mood, even though it's very bright outside currently. And the sun is shining.
I'm used to doing spooky stories in the dark with candles at this point.
Yeah, now we're doing it in broad daylight. Like it's a weird flex, but let's continue.
Okay.
So it's after dark, sometime around Halloween 2024. A group of people is moving through a pitch black corridor with torches. The floor crunches, broken glass, ceiling board, 30 years of dust.
Yeah.
They're filming. The building they're in had no electricity for decades, no power, no mains, nothing connected, dead wires hanging out of stripped walls.
That's such a freaky image.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just abandoned things are very eerie to
It's
me.
very eerie.
Yeah.
But then, in an empty room just off the corridor, a fluorescent light explodes. A light in a room with no power, in a building that has been disconnected from the grid since before some of the people filming were even born.
Damn.
The clip went onto TikTok and passed 1 million views.
Yeah.
And South Africa collectively said the same thing it has been saying about this place since the 90s. Yeah, no, that's Kempton Park Hospital for you.
Ugh, shame.
So how does a state-of-the-art, multi-million rand government hospital become the country's most notoriously haunted ruin? To answer that, we are going to have to go back to when the lights were still on, legally. Let me take you a bit into the past. Kempton Park, for our international listeners, is a large suburb on the East Rand, east of Johannesburg, in what is now the Ekurhuleni Metro. It is the town right next to OR Tambo International Airport. So if you've ever flown into Johannesburg, you have technically been to Kempton Park, even if at only 10,000 feet. Yeah. In the late 1970s, Kempton Park was growing fast, and the old Transvaal Provincial Administration built it a hospital to match. Kempton Park Hospital opened in 1978. Some accounts say 1976. And honestly, the fact that we can't even pin this down, its actual birthday, tells you something about how badly this place has been documented. And some of the facts are a bit slippery in the story.
Everyone just knows it's haunted. The rest is
everyone knows it's
details.
haunted, but let's see why nothing has been documented properly. So what we do know is it was big. Around 300 beds, some reports say 350, making it the largest hospital in the region. It cost just under 30 million rand to build, which in 1970s money was a lot of money.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm like, 30 million rand, right? Like, doesn't seem right, but if in the 70s?
No, in the 70s,
that's a lot. That's a lot of money.
That is some serious cash. So it was kitted out with roughly 10 million rands worth of equipment.
Yeah.
Maternity wards, operating theatres, a children's ward, a mortuary. There was even a little snack bar at the entrance. The old signage for the Star newspaper is apparently still bolted to it today.
Creepy.
This was a proper district hospital. Babies were born there, people were treated there, healed there, and because it's a hospital, people died there. For nearly 2 decades, it did what hospitals do. It held the entire emotional spectrum of human existence under one roof. Towards the end of its life, it was briefly renamed Kyalami Hospital, but nobody calls it that. To everyone in Gauteng, it has only ever been known as the Kempton Park Hospital. And for most of its run, it was exactly what it looked like. An ordinary, busy, functioning public hospital. Except that for 8 of those years, one of the men working in the children's ward was not what he looked like at all. So this is the part where some people might want to skip over.
Get rid of him. Throw him away.
Oh, don't worry. He was chucked away like
bad
garbage.
Great.
In 1982, a man named Andre Esterhuizen started working as a pediatrician, a children's doctor, which I sometimes confuse with a podiatrist, which is a foot doctor.
Though
I think
everyone
everyone
confuses
confuses it.
have done that.
Yes, at some point or another. Over the following 8 years, he treated thousands of patients, many of them at Kempton Park Hospital. Andre Estreisen was not a doctor.
What was he and how did he get in there?
He was a high school dropout. He had no medical degree. You are so frustrated right now.
Because this has happened before. This happened recently in Kempton Park too, where a doctor wasn't a doctor. I can't remember his name, but this happened in Kempton Park literally a couple of years
Is there
ago.
something in the drinking water in Kempton
I
Park?
don't know. Fake doctors all around.
Fake doctors. So he had no medical degree, no training, nothing. What he did have, reportedly, was an extremely high IQ and years of reading medical textbooks on his own.
So then why did he just become a doctor?
I don't know, maybe he was lazy.
But how could he be lazy if you're reading medical textbooks?
Girl, I don't know this man.
I don't know.
I'm glad I don't know this man. I
Yeah,
don't
me
ever
too.
want to know this man.
Thank you.
So by his own account, he introduced himself to a real pediatrician as a doctor. He started working alongside him and later even established his own practice. Nobody checked. How did the other man not check for his credentials?
Yeah.
How did
Even
he
a
get
hospital. How can a hospital not check?
not check for your credentials? Just go with pure reputation
Not
alone.
even high school. Like, it's not that hard to figure out someone.
The man was a
doesn't
high
have
school dropout. He didn't have matric.
It's not that hard to figure out if someone has a matric or not. I'm sure. I mean, I've never done that, but
Hey, you never know. We're talking about a hospital who didn't record a lot of its things. So not the colleague, not the hospital, not even the province checked. For 8 years, a man whose entire qualification was confident and well-read performed medical procedures on infants. And babies died. At his trial in the Kempton Park Regional Court, mothers testified about children who deteriorated under his care. Court reporting from the time described procedures done badly, lumbar punctures, incisions, treatments that in a real doctor's hands might have saved lives, and in his hands ended or destroyed them. One baby suffered brain damage and later died. Another was left with cerebral palsy. Another died the same day he treated her. We're not going to go into any further detail than that, out of respect for those families. But the pattern is the point. He wasn't a doctor and children paid for it.
And like out of all doctors he could be. I mean, I'm not saying you should choose.
Out of all doctors, he wasn't a doctor, that's the point.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, well, why a pediatrician? Like,
actually, like you were like, I have a passion.
I mean, I'm not saying it would be better if he was like
a different, if he was
I think it just hits different when it's anything to children. They're so innocent.
Maybe he thought it was easier because it's children. How difficult can a child be?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but either way, he's a monster.
Either way, monster through and through. In 1992, Estreisen was convicted on 3 counts of culpable homicide, along with impersonating a doctor and defrauding patients. 3 counts in the court's finding. You'll see claims online that dozens of children died under him. And given that he treated thousands of patients over 8 years, people understandably wonder, 8 years, yeah. He was there for 8 years and no one thought, like, is this man real? Is he a real doctor? No, but I mean, why would you question someone of medical authority? That's the sad part of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people thought that so many more died under him or was harmed because of medical negligence. But the proven number, the legal record, is 3. And that is already 3 too many.
I also think that it's more than that, just because he only got convicted of 3 doesn't mean it's more. It's like serial killers and stuff, they confess to like 80 murders, but then they only get convicted of like 40.
Well, some of them is like, oh, I murdered like over 100 women, but I'm only getting charged for 15.
Yeah, stuff like that. So
take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. So the court sentenced him to 18 years.
18 years for 3 deaths.
In May 1992. So that's the thing we see, that the prison sentencings weren't, I want to say, harsh enough.
Not at all.
But
we life in prison without the possibility of parole, and I'm upset now.
Yes, we definitely we keep coming back to that, I think. But harsher prison sentences. But I think at this point, if it happened today, it would have been way harsher, and I think the hospital would have been like scrutinized.
Yeah,
way worse.
Yeah.
So, everything in good time.
Yeah.
The sentencing judge, Judge Eugene van Rensburg, said, and I quote, "This must surely be the mother of all frauds." That is putting it lightly.
Sure.
My guy, you could have said anything and you're like, this is so fraudulent. You could Like, that was not the appropriate quote.
Like, thank you for stating the obvious.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious. But regardless, he did sentence this man and he was in prison. Now, and this matters for what comes later, Esterhazy did not cause the hospital to close.
What?
That's the bad thing. His trial was in 1992. The hospital ran for another 4 years.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. But when you're asking why a building gets a reputation for being haunted, it helps to know that this particular building's children ward was, for most of the 80s, staffed by a fraud who killed babies. That is not folklore.
Yeah.
That's a court record.
Yeah.
The folklore comes later. The horror was already there.
You give me goosebumps there.
No, I'm reading it so well.
Yeah. And this was like, we took it and like ran with it, but the fact is that it was already a horror story.
It was. The 26th of December, 1996, the day after Christmas, also known as Boxing Day, the Gauteng provincial government, under then Health MEC Amos Masando, closed Kempton Park Hospital for good. The official reason? The hospital was underused and keeping it running was a waste of state money.
I mean, it was probably underused because people were like, we don't want to go there anymore because you don't vet the doctors that you have.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
It was a very negligent thing that happened.
Yeah, and he's still open.
But to be fair to the officials, there is a real story underneath that. Gauteng in the mid-90s was restructuring its whole health system. And there were plans on the table to downgrade or close several hospitals.
Okay.
There are also accounts, anecdotal, from people who were around at the time, that staff had been bleeding away to the new Arwijk hospital in town.
Which still exists.
So until Kempton Park was actually closed down, it was running on a skeleton crew, keeping existing patients but admitting no new ones. And it simply wound down until the last patient was discharged and the doors were locked.
That must have been quite freaky though. Imagine being the last person leaving a hospital.
When I read through this, I was like, what was that person thinking?
Yeah,
like, congratulate, you're our last.
I would literally feel like, in The Walking Dead, where he wakes up in the hospital,
there's like no one
there.
That is so creepy.
Yeah.
It must have been like that.
Yeah.
But here's what turns a budget decision into a legend. When they locked those doors, they left everything.
You see, that makes
inside.
it more creepy.
It does. So roughly 10 million rands worth of medical equipment.
That's crazy.
Beds, wheelchairs, theater equipment, furniture, even patient files. Explorers, like years later, reported paperwork still lying on desks and a blackboard in the staff room still carrying the minutes of the final staff meeting. It reads, and I promise you this is real, in future, we must organize some heaters for our new staff members.
Yeah. This is so, I've always wondered like how this actually happens. Like,
What is the decisions behind this?
Yeah, you see like deserted buildings, hospitals, schools, whatever. And there's always stuff left behind, whether in this case it's all medical stuff. And I'm always just like, how do they just leave that behind? Like,
it's strange.
Because because of some disaster or something that people had to evacuate. But this is literally just people being like, no, we're shutting down.
We're shutting down the hospital. You could have sold those and you could have made some of your money.
No, you should have just put it in a hospital that needs it.
So then the patient we are going to get to that.
That's information.
That is the sad thing. So we are going to get to that. So there were no future staff members. There was no future. They wrote a note about heaters, went home for Christmas, and the hospital simply stopped.
On a side note though, I really like heaters.
We love heaters.
Especially now it's been cold. And yeah.
Oh, on the little feet.
Oh, yeah.
Some heaters on your feeties. Yes, please.
My cat loves to sit in front of my heater and feel my warmth.
But they sit so close that their whiskers start burning. You're like, what are you doing?
She's put her tail in the gas heater. She hasn't got burned, but like you just smell the hair.
You just smell the hair. It was like,
what are you doing? Like, watch yourself.
Oh my!
They're like loving everything, and then they're like,
They have no clue. They're just
there's another thought behind those eyes.
There's nothing going on. So to get back, in a country where public hospitals are chronically short of beds and equipment, a fully kitted 300-bed facility was closed as underused and its contents abandoned to rot. And the community its served got redirected to Tembisa Hospital, which has been buckling under the extra load ever since.
Yes.
To this day, government officials have never given what locals consider a full, satisfying explanation of why it happened this way. And when officialdom leaves a vacuum that size, something always moves in to fill it. In this case, ghosts.
Damn. But yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, South Africa it needs medical equipment. It needs stuff. It's always short of stuff, you know?
So many hospitals.
And even now, you know, we need doctors and stuff. But people who are graduating as doctors can't find jobs.
Like, can't find jobs.
I'm like, what is going on? We need people.
You're a doctor.
Like, if we need people. So what is going on with our governments and what's going
They're
on?
like, we're chronically understaffed. It's like, okay, so pay better wages.
Yeah, like do
and
something,
get the
you know?
staff.
It's
Like, at one point, the infrastructure just completely went haywire, topsy-turvy, and now we can't afford the basic necessities as humans.
it's heartbreaking, especially for public hospitals. It's
Absolutely.
ugh.
So picture the building now. 9 stories, behind a fence, weeds up to your waist, every window a jagged hole. Inside, graffiti on every wall, floors carpeted in shattered glass, wheelchairs abandoned in the courtyards, the mortuary stripped, fridge doors gone, the autopsy table damaged. The equipment that was left behind has long since been vandalized or stolen. The panel wall that once held the public payphone is still there, and the number was 393-1376, if you'd like to try your luck.
Ew.
I
wonder what's happened.
I see you reaching for your phone.
I wonder what would happen.
I wonder what would happen. So there is no electricity on the premises. The security guards, and yes, there are guards, we'll get into that a little later on.
That's what I say, like,
It's heavily guarded. It's Fort Knox.
which is so weird.
There's a little mystery going on.
But hasn't stuff been stolen from there?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like vandalized, stolen.
Yeah.
But the security guards live in the old outbuildings where the laundry used to be done. And at night, they light and warm themselves by other means because the state pays them to guard a building it won't even power.
Yeah. What is going on?
Right? It's like, what are y'all hiding in there? We're probably making a conspiracy theory out of nothing.
I don't know, hey.
But over 3 decades, this ruin has become a whole ecosystem. Film crews have shot movies there. The production, A Million Colors, filmed there for 3 days, with crew members sleeping over, specifically hoping to see someone. There have reportedly been raves.
Interesting.
Right? How cool would that have been?
Right.
But don't break the law, kids. Airsoft and paintball tournaments have been held
That
at
is
the wards.
scary. I will say that. But cool.
But I'm like, that's
legal.
kind of dope, but also
illegal, but
it's kind of disrespecting the property. But
I don't know.
you know what? That's what Call of Duty and PUBG is for. And teenagers film TikTok dares.
I don't like that.
A steady pilgrimage of ghost hunters, because for years the standard way in was simply to slip the guards a bit of cash at the gate, have also been there.
I feel like that's most of the things in South Africa with cops, and
it's just like if you're so desperate, it's just like, listen, my guy, are you hungry? Or
hey, some people even will accept Coke, KFC.
Yeah. When we say Coke, for international listeners, like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
A bottle of Coca-Cola. We don't say soda. We also
So-
call a chocolate bar. It's not a candy bar. What is up with that? Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. So
We don't even call it a chocolate bar. We just
say let's chocolate. You want a piece of chocolate?
sweets.
You want sweets? So when a Democratic Alliance member of the provincial legislature,
Also known as the DA.
when a Democratic Alliance member of the provincial legislature, Bronwyn Engelbrecht, went there on an official oversight visit in 2019 and asked the guards about the ghost tours and the bribes, they denied all knowledge, which is fair. You're not going to be like, oh, hell yeah, I let kids in all the time. I'm rolling in dough. I've gained like 30 kgs from KFC at home. Like, God, you are not going to, you're not going to plead guilty to that. But they also refused to let her in, a member of parliament. They turned away from a state-owned building. They were like completely turned away. And that half of Gauteng's teenagers had apparently toured that place for the price of a takeaway. But they were like, listen,
Yeah, sorry, we can't
official government, sorry, you can't get in.
No
This is
KFC, no entries.
Fort Knox, sorry, we don't take bribes. And then a teenager comes in and is like, hey, my guy, I bought you a pizza. It's like, oh, yeah, cool. By the way, there's a rave up there on the 7th floor.
There's some, don't go to the first floor because you might get shot by some paintball bullets. But
yeah, you know what? Kind of, so out tonight,
filming something on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
But the rave is on the 5th.
Tonight, it's like, oh, yeah, so what you here for? You're like, oh, the paintball. Yeah, that's on the 3rd floor. Just take the lift. Wait, the lift doesn't work. There's no electricity. Take the stairs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Just watch out for ghosts while you're there, though.
So that's the stage that things were happening there.
Yeah.
So things were being vandalized. People were just having paintball tournaments and raves and everything. But then state parliament people got turned away and they're like, we don't know anything about bribes. What are you talking about? Yeah. Oh, that noise? I don't know. It's probably a car driving by. Meanwhile, it's in the background. It's like, oops, 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 oops. Let's get back to the seriousness. Let's start with the classics. The reports that come up again and again from visitors across 30 years of what they see in this hospital. People hear babies crying.
That is terrifying.
In an empty building.
No.
That's the big one.
I gotta go.
The one that gets under everyone's skin because everyone knows what stood there. A maternity section and a children's ward.
Ugh.
People hear doors opening and slamming in a building where the wind has free run of every corridor. And yes, we will come back to the wind because your co-host is contractually obligated to be skeptical.
Yes, because what if it's not ghosts?
Exactly. There is an explanation for everything.
Creepy wind playing tricks on us.
Exactly. I mean, there's no windows. Of course things are going to slam. But people see the figure of a man roaming the halls.
I don't think that's wind.
There's an explanation for this, but there has to be one. So ghost hunters report shadows of what they describe as doctors' figures moving through the wards. Visitors have claimed their photos came out obscured by a strange white sheen. You know, like as if, I won't say a flash in a mirror when you take a photo, but let's say it looks like just something white, just like dimming and paling up your photo. Paranormal groups have recorded what they present as EVPs, also known as electronic voice phenomena, including screams and breathing. That is one thing I want to try. I want to get an EVP. But you have to have like original, authentic one from Japan. That's
so we're never getting KFC.
Girls, I read this thing and I did my research. I really, 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 with all of my heart, want to go to Kempton Park Hospital. But I know
it's illegal.
It is illegal.
You don't do anything. Illegal.
And it is incredibly dangerous.
It is.
Not just because the building...
Kempton Park is also a dangerous area. It's very dangerous.
Yes. So people do live there. They have security there. But also, if it were just the two of us and 2 cameras, we are asking for trouble, literally. And also... I think it housed homeless people also over the years.
Probably at some point.
Who sneaked in illegally. So I think it's just not, it's not a good idea. Unless I have a 300 kg tank of a man there in like an Iron Man suit of armor, I'm not going. So I really want to go, but I know.
You want to go, but you don't want to go.
I really want to go, but I also know like I was given a brain. It's currently still functioning, so no, it's a bad idea. But crews who have stayed overnight say that the ghost of the old psychiatric ward are, quote, the most mischievous.
I'm sure they are.
Which is a wonderfully polite way of saying that's the ward where things go wrong.
Oy.
I would assume so. It's a psychiatric ward.
Yeah.
And we are not judging. Like literally.
No judgment.
No judgment. But it is a psychiatric ward. People were kept there for a reason.
And people are colourful. And also back in those days, you know, there was a lot less known about mental health stuff and
so you were
stigma around us,
schizophrenia, like any bipolar, any disorder of the brain.
I'd probably even put you there if you had postpartum depression or something. So
that is true. Okay, so it's not that late. I mean, it was the 1970s, but no, you would get hospitalized for postpartum depression, and rightfully so, because I know a lot of people struggle with it, and it sounds terrifying.
But also, I don't know if the psychiatric wards in the 70s were Actually, they tell people just to lock them away, that they don't bother people.
Yeah, to
You know what I mean?
monitor
That's
them,
not
or
really
just
harsh.
to,
But I mean, like family members who are like, I don't really want to deal
Yeah.
with this. Just
yeah,
yeah,
if they were there to actually help them, or just to keep them in a space and to
Yeah.
drug them enough to keep them calm.
it's I actually want to talk about that more sometime. But
We will definitely, because I think we are definitely proponents of fighting for women's rights and children's rights, and obviously both of us, we do want to focus on mental health. So,
yeah, and yeah, I think
and shine a
it's come
positive
a-
light
Yeah,
on
mental health has come a long way in South Africa, and I actually like to explore, things.
like where it all started
Yeah.
and how bad it was to where we have come
Because you
so
get a
far.
lot of exposés and stuff, so
Yeah,
it'll be interesting
Yeah,
to know.
definitely. I think if people are interested, well, if they're not even interested, I do not care.
We are interested.
We are interested. So then there's the folklore layer. And I want to be clear, this is folklore. There's a persistent legend that the hospital director was killed by one of his own employees, who was said to be possessed. So I could not find a shred of documentation for that story.
Yeah,
Like nothing, nada.
I think it's
No
just
name.
being like, ugh.
No name, no date, no news report.
Yeah,
And that little folklore tale travels from YouTube video to YouTube video like a virus. So file it under campfire, not case file. Which is
I
nice,
think that's one of those things, where someone made it up and then it just
It
was
just
a
sparkled.
story,
And everyone
ran with it.
It's like a little fib, and everyone adds a little tail to it.
Yeah,
And now it's this giant serpent with like,
I mean, it's still
it's an interesting thing,
yeah.
but it cannot be proven. So
yeah.
definitely it's just folklore. But here's where things get genuinely strange, because the ghost stories don't stop at the fence. They do not stop at the hospital's perimeter. Families living in the houses around the hospital have reported activity in their own homes.
Yep.
One family described poltergeist type activity: curtains repeatedly opening, doors slamming shut with force. Another homeowner reported finding a trail of wet, child-sized footprints through his house.
No thanks.
Reading this, I have full-on goosebumps.
Go.
Can you imagine? You just like living your life and you're like, what?
That?
I don't have a dog. Why is my floor wet? It's child-sized footprints?
No, thank you.
Are you kidding? That's when you nope out of there.
Yeah.
So one family also next to the hospital says their children's toys got played with by children who weren't theirs.
How do they know that though? And also, could it not just be their friends who played with it? I don't know.
Maybe their children weren't home that day and they were
Maybe.
like, why are the toys scattered when they were perfectly kept
Maybe
in a
Well, that's
basket?
fine. Let the kid go sell
Well,
toys.
kids goes play.
Oh.
I have nothing against that. Just don't leave wet floor.
Yeah, don't be creepy about it.
Don't be creepy. Just play. Shemaine Russ, who co-founded Phoenix Paranormal South Africa with Arno du Toit, has a theory about why hospitals in general, like this one in particular, generate this kind of stuff. And I have to say, I do agree with her. She told Business Insider South Africa in 2019 that hauntings get, in her words, fueled by the extreme human emotions people experienced in a place, leaving an imprint on those environments. Birth, death, fear, grief. A hospital is a pressure cooker of exactly those emotions. And this hospital got sealed shut with all of it still inside.
Yeah.
When her team investigated the building around Halloween 2021, they reported intelligent responses to their questions and what they described as a run-in with a very dark entity.
Yeah, this is kind of freaky, not even gonna lie.
It is creepy. And I'm like, I have to go. And then I remember, you're a law-abiding citizen. Calm
You don't
down.
do that. You don't want to be on an episode.
You don't want to be a statistic, do you? Come on, you're a host. You're not a statistic. So
We're not going to be one of those podcasts.
no. Also, I don't want a criminal record. I don't want to be in the news.
I would. We
Okay.
probably wouldn't be though, because no one really cares.
No, I really can't. But
There's so much crime that happens in South Africa.
you never know.
Maybe just because you would be such an anomaly, people would be like, "Oh my gosh, this girl was
a weird girl.
ghost hunting."
She went ghost hunting alone. What would she think? I would totally do that. It's fine. I'm not going to do that though. For legal reasons, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Unless it's obtained legally. If I can get a form signed by someone and a permit that says, okay, you are allowed to be there on this date from this hour to this hour,
Yeah,
Absolutely. But until then,
still scared.
It remains a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then there's Upside Down Adventures, which is so cute. A paranormal group founded by Rivers Bright in Pretoria. Bright has said Kempton Park Hospital is on every South African ghost hunter's list. Yep, that is true. And that it has given him, quote, some of the most credible evidence he has ever captured and some life-altering experiences.
This is cool.
His co-founder, Nigel Millender, has been inside more than 50 times.
Oh my gosh.
Starting as a teenager. You know what? If I have to go, I'm taking Nigel with me.
Yeah.
Nigel, you ready? You want to go?
Yeah.
Hit me up. So starting as a teenager, back when getting in meant sneaking past or paying off the guards.
So obviously he found a legal way to do it now.
I don't know. I don't know if he's been back.
It says 15 times since he was a teenager back when. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Either way, we
don't
want to go with you, Nigel.
We want to
Show
go.
us your
Nigel,
ways.
will you help us? And then there's Veronica Boer. She visited the hospital in 2009. She says something followed her home.
Yeah, that's why I have to be like, thank you for letting me be here, but I'm leaving the house.
Yes.
You do not have permission to follow me.
Exactly.
You stay there and I leave.
That's one of
You
the
always have to do that.
You have to make that
I'm a
abundantly
skeptic.
clear.
I'm a massive skeptic, but there's no way in a million years I'm risking that. So if I'm ever in a place like that, you just
Exactly.
even if you don't believe in it,
You say that.
just say it. Just
You make it abundantly clear. Like, just thank you for communicating. You are not allowed to follow
not
me
welcome.
home.
Yeah.
You stay here. End of story.
Yeah.
Voices, footsteps,
Yeah.
lights flashing.
I think.
The sensation of something
Oh,
resting on her legs while she slept,
no, thank you.
affecting her whole family, even the pets.
It's so confused.
She says it took over a year to get rid of it and 13 years to get over it.
That's crazy.
That is so scary. Like, we are skeptics. I would love to believe it. And I'll be sure if I watch a horror movie at night and I have to go home alone and my neighbors upstairs love to drop things in the middle of the night, I do sometimes get really, really scared and paranoid.
Yeah.
But I cannot imagine being in such a situation.
No, thank you.
So, oh gosh, Veronica, we hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
So now, take a deep breath. Put your skeptic hat on. Because this show has a tagline and we say, stay safe and stay skeptical. Not stay safe and believe everything on it.
Also, I always think whenever I see something on TikTok and I find myself believing it, I'm like, wait, this is something my grand would do. And then I'm like, no, I just believe everything I read.
This
That's
time.
research.
No, but it is so difficult to distinguish nowadays.
It is,
People
it's
has to be careful. People has to be.
Yeah, they have to be.
People have to be. Grammatical errors. A derelict 9-story building is a machine for producing spooky experiences. Wind funnels through broken windows and slams doors. That can explain stuff. Buildings contract and creak at night. And feral cats sound uncannily like crying babies.
They do. They have a specific kind of, if they are,
Yes, if they're
fighting or
it's like two male cats
upset about something, they have
It is
that
the
howl.
scariest
It's
thing.
terrifying.
You can hear it in the morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's the scariest
it
thing.
really
So
is.
definitely look it up. It is one of the most commonly misidentified sounds in haunted locations worldwide.
That makes sense.
So if you think someone was crying or screaming, it was probably two cats facing off. So literally, just also
Don't go and explore though. If you hear it, I don't care.
stay away.
Don't be that person that would die in a horror movie.
Yeah,
Just leave.
Just leave.
Just be like,
I also
Mass
this person I
you.
follow on Instagram. I think it's called Latinos Against Dying in Horror Movies or something.
yeah.
Or Latinos Against Paranormal Stuff. It's the funniest thing where he takes paranormal clips and he's like, yeah, no, immediately no. And then he starts to speak Spanish about why he wouldn't know out of there. It's the funniest thing ever. So yeah, no, definitely it could be cats. It could be cats fighting. Torchlight, adrenaline, and the expectation will conjure figures out of shadows for the most level-headed person alive.
Yeah.
I mean, in that moment, the fear that you're experiencing, you are going to see something moving out of the
Also,
corner of your eye.
yeah, like your brain loves playing tricks on you.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be like, what, you're in this creepy place and we're scared? Guess what? You're going to see some stuff.
Yeah.
Which is just rude. But you know what? It's what the brain does.
Yeah. It has
I mean,
fun.
We all have woken up with like our washing sitting on the chair and it looks like a person staring at you.
Yes. Oh my gosh, my family used to have a black jacket, and it was like a faux fur one. And it used to hang up on our like a
coat hanger.
Yeah, in our passage. Whenever I saw it, I always thought it was a wolf. The thing was terrifying.
Like, so exactly what like, I was too scared to go past that thing in the passage. I was like, what is this?
Terrifying.
It's fluffy and black. It is terrifying. I remember, oh my gosh, this was when I was in school and we still stayed in Mpumalanga. My mother was doing something for the church, and I think it was with like one of the stories of Rit. And we had a mannequin in the house. And mind you, I was terrified of mannequins and like dolls growing up as a child because I had a horrible nightmare and it affected me so much. But then the one evening, my mother, she was like, everyone was asleep, all the lights were off, and she was walking, and she walked into the living room, and out of the corner of her eye, she saw a person standing there, and then she freaked out, and she was like, oh, this is the mannequin. But
oh my gosh.
I would have been so terrified. So
no,
immediately, your brain loves to be a jerk.
it really does.
Absolutely. And an exploding fluorescent tube in a dead building is genuinely weird. We'll give it that. But old tubes hold vacuum, glass fatigues, temperature swing, and things that have been slowly failing for 30 years do occasionally fail when someone happens to be filming.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen like something, it can be so derelict and so torn down, and then for years nothing happens, and then one day just suddenly it just like decides to go. So these things do happen. But I'll give the believers this much. The sheer consistency is interesting.
Yeah.
30 years, thousands of visitors, and the same reports keep surfacing. The crying, the man in the corridor, the psychiatric ward. Whether those are spirits or the power of a shared story shaping what people expect to experience, well, I mean, that's part of the fun, isn't it? You go in knowing the stories, and then a light explodes.
Yeah.
You go in with already confirmation bias.
I feel like it's probably a bit of both, though. I think it's a combination of it actually being haunted and people.
That's a hospital.
Yeah, as you say, confirmation bias. They're like, no, something
They
happened.
expect,
Brain pace checks, that kind of stuff,
And also, like we said, and like we agreed with the one paranormal investigator, that places do hold energy.
Yeah.
A hospital is full of them, and energy stays behind. So, it could be a very good ratio, a mix between the two.
Yeah.
So let's go into one of the things a lot of people might have been asking. Can you visit? Officially, absolutely not. And that sucks. But this hospital is state property. It is fenced and it is guarded around the clock. And it has been formally described as a dangerous site. And it is dangerous, not because of the ghosts, but because it's a stripped ruin full of broken glass, exposed wiring, holes, rubble, and over the years, some very human hazards. It has been reported as a hotspot for criminal activity, drug use, and illegal parties. People going in unofficially are trespassing, and people have absolutely been hurt in buildings like this.
Yeah.
So this is us saying, clearly, do not bribe your way into Kempton Park Hospital for the gram.
Or TikTok, or for anything.
For anything.
Just don't do it.
We are storytellers, not accessories.
Not only is it,
please,
not only is it actually
it's illegal,
but it's genuinely dangerous. So just don't do it.
You could get caught in a situation that no one has prepared you for. So please, do not go there.
Yeah.
Please. You can stand outside and be like, nice building. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't even go to the fence. No, we forbid it. As your mothers in crime, as your mothers in true crime, we forbid it. But there is a part of the security story that will haunt you in an entirely different way. So are you sitting down for this, Jess?
I am sitting down.
I know, I'm looking at you. That was just for dramatic effect. So for years after the closure, the health department spent about 740,000 Rand a year on security guards for the empty building.
That's crazy.
By 2021, that had climbed to 2.5 million Rand a year.
What?
By 2023, 6 million Rand a year. A proper fence only went up in 2018. The 22 years after closure, they only put up a fence. And by 2025, the Sunday Times added it all up. The state has spent roughly 35 million rand guarding Kempton Park Hospital. The building cost 30 million rand to build.
I also think that just demolish the building, people.
So we're going to get into that. That is now the thing, because a lot of people are conflicted about why spend so much money guarding this place, and other people want to demolish, and other people are like, you're wasting free resources. So let's get into
how much more would it actually cost to redo the whole thing?
Oh, I will give you a government breakdown.
Oh, fabulous.
Yes. So we now have officially spent more money guarding the corpse of this hospital than we spent giving birth to it, which is a very nice metaphor. And despite that, despite 500,000 rand a month at recent rates, the building got stripped, vandalized, tagged, and toured by every ghost hunter in the province. A local resident, Tracy Sarfontein, who was once a patient there herself, put it perfectly. She's seen fires set on the grounds while security looked on.
Oh my gosh.
And people sneaking in to ghost hunt or play paintball while millions get paid for protection.
And these guys are just like, I
got a meal.
Cool. Yeah.
It reeks of...
Just do your job, people.
Yeah. So here's the truly cursed thing about Kempton Park Hospital. It's not just that it's abandoned, but the fact that they now want to unabandon it.
And they have been wanting to unabandon for ever since it's been abandoned.
Exactly. They have... So let me walk you through a timeline of this. In 2013, the Gauteng government committed to building a new 300-bed hospital on the site.
Completely new.
Construction was meant to run from March 2013 to July 2014. That is such a short amount of time for a freaking hospital in Gauteng. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Be reasonable. Modderfontein still isn't fixed and you all had a year. Anyway, I digress.
Snake Road, people. Snake Road.
So that never happened. There was reportedly a 244 million rand upgrade project left incomplete around 2015.
Tenders.
Also in 2015, the province paid AMCE consulting engineers 12.8 million rand to investigate the building's structural integrity. The finding? The structure is sound. No major structural problems. With maintenance, the building was designed to last 100 years. The recommendation? Refurbish it and reopen it as a district hospital at an estimated 1.1 billion rand with a B.
That's insane. But also going to be cheaper than carry on using it as security. Or carry on, security
the security costs are literally adding up.
Yeah.
Like, just reopen it.
Yeah.
So naturally, in 2016, the department announced it would be demolished. And it quoted a cost of 127 million rand to demolish it. But then they wanted to build a new one.
Oh my gosh.
It did neither of those things.
Of course not.
In 2022, so now we're getting into recent things, Health MEC Nomantu Nkomo Ralehoko told the legislator there were plans to reopen a 300-bed hospital on the site, demolish and rebuild, with the Gauteng Infrastructure Funding Agency, also known as GIFA, who were asked to help fund it. By 2025, her department's own numbers to the legislature were refurbishing the existing building at an estimated 1.76 billion rand, demolishing and rebuilding around 3.6 billion rand.
Oh my gosh.
In the meantime, over 5 million rand a year on security.
Yeah.
Nearly 6 million rand more on maintenance. And, in the department's own words, no return on investment. This thing is just hemorrhaging money.
It is.
And they're like, oh no, we have big plans, but it's going to cost billions. It's not, my dude. It's not. And we all know why. Say it with me, people. The C word. Corruption. Anyway, the community of Kempton Park has had enough. In December 2023, residents petitioned Premier Panyaza Lesufi, to cancel any demolition plans and get an independent panel to look at reusing the building as a day hospital, a clinic, a training center, anything. As of mid-2025, the petition had received no response. In June 2025, DA members of the provincial legislature, led by Mike Waters, did an oversight visit and demanded a final decision. Ward councillor Amanda Davison called it, quote, a gross failure of political will and basic governance.
Which country?
I mean, you had a perfectly good hospital.
That you closed.
First of all, yeah, because you guys hired a doctor with no experience. He wasn't a doctor. I should stop saying he was a doctor.
You hired a person. Matric.
Never
Not a doctorate.
Exactly. So that was damaging. But then be like engine garages you see along the way. Say it's under new ownership. And make it like a Netcare or a Medicross or something.
Yeah.
But no. What is the future of Kempton Park Hospital?
I was about to say, do you mean what is the future of everything? Like,
oh goodness, no. We'll be sitting here forever and we will be saying absolutely nothing because no one knows. So as of recording this, on the 11th of July, 2026, the honest answer is there's a fork in the road that the government has been standing at for a decade. The department has advertised an expression of interest to test whether the private sector wants in. And a public-private partnership is formally being considered. Either fix the building or flatten it and build new, likely with private money doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Because the province clearly can't. GIFA is assessing. Security is being remodeled to cut costs, which that is long overdue. And meanwhile, Tembisa Hospital running over its approved bed capacity and the Edenvale Hospital carry the load this building is meant to share.
We need a hospital, people.
There has to be a hospital. 30 years. It was structurally sound this entire time, 100-year building. And 32 years into it, it's being wasted. In the middle of 2026, Kempton Park Hospital still stands, still empty, still guarded, still costing millions a year to be nothing. No final decision between refurbishment and demolition has been announced. The public-private partnership process is underway but unresolved. The residents' petition remains, as far as the public record shows, unanswered. The building is closed to the public and it is illegal and genuinely dangerous to enter. The ghost hunters keep finding ways in anyway. The lights officially stay off. We will end it where we always do, with the people. The babies who died under Andre Estreisen. At least 3 the court could prove. Children whose names were never made public, whose mothers had to stand in a courtroom and described watching them fade under the care of a man playing dress up.
I'm still mad about that, and I'm mad about the fact that he only got like 18 years.
It's disgusting.
He should still be in prison right now.
He should. I hope he's not doing well. I hope you have the life you deserve. So they were real. They had families who are, if they're still with us, in their 60s and 70s now, and who have carried that for over 40 years.
Yep.
The staff who worked there properly, real doctors and nurses who made sure that hospital was up to standard and who actually cared for people. And for every patient like Tracy Sadfontein, who was healed in that building but now has to watch it rot behind a 500,000 Rand a month fence.
That's crazy.
And the community just watching it all fade in front of their very eyes.
Desperate for medical care.
Exactly. It is such a big thing that could be used to help infrastructure, but people ask why Kempton Park Hospital is haunted. And honestly, maybe the question is, why are we so eager to believe it is? Because if the crying in the corridors are ghosts, that's a mystery. If it's just the wind through the building full of beds that a whole community desperately needs, that's a scandal. And a scandal demands something from us that a ghost story doesn't. And that was Kempton Park Hospital. One building, 30 years, 35 million Rand in security with 0 patients.
It makes me so upset that we're wasting so much money on stuff when we actually need it for other things.
And we're still wasting so much
better
money.
healthcare. I'm so annoyed.
It is annoying. You know, you thought it would be like, ooh, mystery ghost. It's so much money. At the end of the day, it's always money. But thank you so much for listening to H That's Dark. If this one got under your skin,
Got under my skin,
share it. And if you worked at Kempton Park Hospital, or if you were born there, if you grow up next to it, we would genuinely love to hear from you.
Yeah, tell us all your stories. And you can find us at H That's Dark on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, where you can listen to the episodes there if you don't have any of the other podcast platforms. But we're on all the other podcast platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and I think pretty much all of them.
Yeah, I can't think of another one right now.
But yeah, and those your stories. Anything from ghosts to personal stories to stories about the crime in South Africa, because I think every single person has
a story to tell.
Stories, and we would love to tell them. But yeah.
And that would be us for today.
Stay safe and stay skeptical.
And maybe don't spend more money guarding an empty hospital than it costs to build the thing, and then act surprised when the whole country decides it might be cursed.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Like, honestly, people, we will see you in the next one.
We will.
Bye.